Hello all. So today I'm going to show you how to make zones. This will be tutorial 1 of 3. The other 2 tutorials will deal with tracking. This specific one obviously just deals with zones. So what I will show you is how to make a zone for the entire pool, for your platform, and for one of the 4 quadrants. You should be able to make the other 3 quadrants on your own based on the logic that I've shown you in this video. In addition, you should be able to create other types of zones that you might be interested in looking at based on the logic that I have showed you in this video. So let's begin. The first thing you want to obviously do is have your ImageJ program opened, and after doing that, you want to open up your video file. So I'm going to pick the sample. I have a sample ready. You want to leave virtual stack and flip vertical unchecked and click on the convert to grayscale, and everything else just leave it as it is, the first frame and last frame. Click OK. Now your video file should be converting at this point, and it should pop up on its own like so. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to, on the ImageJ bar, click on Plugins, AnimalTracker, and Zone Designer. So this box should pop up. Now we're ready to create our zones. Select this oval tool right here, and then you want to make an oval shape that covers all the water. So see, I can move this around like so. Just stretch it out. A little bit so. Just want to cover the water part, not like this black part. That's not the water. Okay, so now that's done. So you want to click on Add ROI, which stands for Region of Interest. Next thing you want to do is you can rename it to whatever you want to rename it to. I'm going to rename it to Entire Pool. Okay, so that's your first region of interest. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to create your platform. So it might be hard for you to see, or you might be able to see it, but there's like a little black shade right here, and I know that's my platform. So once again, you have the oval tool, and now you're just going to make a small oval. It's going to roughly cover your platform. Okay. So you can see that your platform actually it's a normal circle, and this looks a little bit out of shape, but we'll fix that. So the first thing, but I'll show you that later. So just go ahead and add this as a region of interest, rename it to platform or whatever you desire, and now you can click on the platform, click on edit, and this box will pop up. And this is the important part. You want to click on this center square, and you want to change both of these radiuses so it has the same value. What does that mean? If it's the same value, it means it's a normal circle. There's one weird thing about this program. It's that even though it's a 17, whatever you enter in here, it's going to reduce it by half. So it's actually not strange, because that's, that is radius, right? So I'm just going to pick 50, enter, and 50 again, enter. You have to hit enter after each one. You can't just put 50, 50, enter. You have to put 50, enter, and then 50, enter. And then you pick overwrite, yes, and now you have your circle. Now we can kind of move it around. So we can kind of see that this circle seems a little bit bigger than the platform, so I might want to reduce it. As you can see, the 50 turned into a 25. So I'm going to choose, let's go with 45. Enter. 45. Enter. Okay. We have to override it. Click yes. Now it seems like it's more closer to the shape of the platform, but it's still a little bigger. So you want to play around with it, fix it until you get it to something satisfactory. So I'm actually going to try 40, enter, 40, enter, overwrite, yes. Okay, so now if I actually compare the shadow, can you kind of see a shadow right there? If you put this over that shadow, now it seems like it fits a little better. Exit out. The platform disappeared, but if you highlight platform and show as a region of interest, it'll come back up. So I think that looks pretty good, but you can adjust it as you want to adjust it. Okay, so now what you want to do is we're going to start making the quadrants, but we want to make it perfect so that this platform is actually has an equal distance with the border of the quadrant. And the way that you'll do that is you'll basically make a cross for both the pool and the platform. This will make more sense once we do it. So you want to select the pool. You want to duplicate the pool twice. So 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to rename this to just pool cross so there's no confusion. Pool cross A. Pool. It won't let me rename it. Name again. Cross B. Okay. Now select one of your duplicates, whatever you named it. You don't have to name it what I've named it, and click Edit. This pops up. Pick the center square. That's very important. You have to pick the center square. If you don't pick the center square, everything's going to look like everything will be messed up. So for your radius 1, change that to 0, enter. Now you should have like a line. Click overwrite and click yes. Close this window. Now click right here so your ImageJ stuff shows up. Click on edit, selection, and add to manager. So now that cross should be fixed once you click on the show all. See, the cross is right there, or the line is right there. But you want to repeat the same thing for the other one in the horizontal direction. So click on your second duplicate, click on edit, the center square. Now you can make this 0, enter, and now you have your horizontal cross. Overwrite, yes, same thing, bring out that window again, your selection, add to manager, and now if you click on show all, now you have a cross. Let me just close this now. So we want to do the exact same thing for the platform. We'll duplicate the platform twice. We'll change the, whoops, I removed it by accident. Duplicate it. I'm going to rename the platform to just cross A. Rename the second one to cross B. Okay. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the pool. I'm going to make a cross for the platform. So I am going to click edit. I'm going to obviously select the cross that in question. And then pick the center one. Same thing. 0 on one of the radiuses. Click enter. Now you have a line. The thing though is like this line is kind of small. So you want to make it longer. So it'll be easier it'll make more sense. But you just need to make it longer. So it's 20 right here. I would just change it to 100. Right now the line is much longer. Overwrite. Click yes. And then click on ImageJ, edit, selection, add to manager. Right, close this out. Repeat for the second one, except you want to do it in a different direction. Center square again. Now you want to make your radius 1, 0. Actually, sorry. You want to make your radius 2, 0. Make the first one 100. Now you have your horizontal line. Click overwrite, yes. And then same thing, edit, selection, and add to manager. Okay, now you can X that out. Now if you show all, you have two crosses. So now you can start building your actual quadrants. So the way that you want, well, before you're able to build your quadrants, you need to figure out some angles. So the way you would do that is you would just click on the rectangle tool, make a rectangle that is larger than the pool, like so. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be more than half of the pool, right? Which is above this cross. Now, what you want to do is you want to rotate this rectangle so that this top line right here bisects the center of both of these crosses here and here. So I have this rectangle highlighted. I'm going to click Edit. I'm going to click Selection, and I'm going to click Rotate. So now I'm just going to guess. I'm going to just guess maybe 19 degrees. Well, I'll just try 20 degrees, even number. Okay. So now this has rotated by 20 degrees. I'm going to try to fit them. Okay. So now you can see that I've gone under the smaller cross. So that means that 20 degrees was too much. But you have to remember whatever value you put. In my case, I put 20 degrees. But now I have to rotate it in the opposite direction so that this will move upward, will move counterclockwise. If I enter a positive number, this will continue to move clockwise. Hope that makes some sense. So click Edit again, Selection, Rotate. Now the first time you put 20 degrees, I'm going to put -2 degrees now. Click OK. So see how this rotated a little bit counterclockwise? So it seemed like 2 degrees wasn't enough. I got closer, but I'm still not enough. So I'm going to do it again. Selection, Rotate. Now I'm going to try -1. Okay, so now I'm getting closer. I'm going to do, so far I've done 20, -2, and -1. So now same thing, rotate, -0.5. Seems like it might not be a full one. So now I'm closer. Sometimes I'm going to have to move this a little bit. So now it looks pretty much perfect, right? See? I needed to adjust it. You can't just rotate, and hope that it's going to bisect both crosses. You still need to move it a little bit. So let's recap. I entered 20, and then -2, -1, and then -0.5. So if you add that together, I have a total of 17.5 degrees. So you need to remember this number, because what you're going to do now is you're going to take whatever number you get. I got 17.5. I'm going to add 45. And that's going to give me 62.5. I'm also going to take 17.5, or whatever number you got, minus 45. And that's going to give you a negative number, obviously. It's going to give you -27.5. Let me just check real quick. Right. 5 minus 5. Right, 27.5. So you need to remember these two numbers when you go back to actually make your zones. So I'm going to go back here. So this rectangle right here is not important anymore. You don't have to add it as a region of interest. You just click anywhere like so, and it'll disappear. So what you should do now is you should draw another rectangle. It's larger than half of the pool, like so. And now you're going to rotate it to 62.5 degrees. Now your number may be different. Remember, you got to do your own math and figure out what actually worked for you. So I'm going to click OK. So now this whole thing rotated, and I'm just going to bisect just the center one. I'm not going to worry about the platform one. I'm just doing the big pool one. So now it's bisecting, this top line is bisecting the center here. So now I can add this as a region of interest. I can rename it to whatever you want to rename it to. I'm just going to rename it W polygon. You can name it whatever you want. W for west because this looks kind of west, a little bit more like southwest, but it's west to me. Okay, now you want to do your second one, like so. You want to do edit, selection, rotate. Now you want to do negative 27.5. Enter. And same thing, you want to move it so that it bisects the center. You want to add it as a region of interest, and I'm going to just call this one the south polygon. Okay. So now we're almost ready to actually make our quadrants. In a certain way, you can almost like see the quadrants right now, right? So here's the slightly more complicated part. So how are you going to make the quadrants? Well, you see here, there's different types of commands. There's union, there's intersection, there's subtraction, and there's exclusive. So what you can do is you can play around with these, but I'm going to show you how to make one of the quadrants. I'm going to take the entire pool right here. I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'm going to take the west polygon. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to highlight both of these two. So you just click on, for me, I'm using a Mac. You just click Shift. Okay, just click on this one, and then hold Shift now, and then click on this one. Now if I click intersection, it gives me a new zone. I can highlight it and show it as a region of interest. And now what you can see is you have a half circle. So what that basically did is the intersection command, it took the entire circle and it took this left rectangle and it only kept whatever they were actually intersecting. So that it's the entire half circle. So now I'm going to rename this one west half circle, just so I don't get confused. Click OK. So now what's going to happen is if I duplicate this, the problem is when you duplicate it, it doesn't give you the same name back. So you're going to kind of have to remember that that was your duplicate. For me, it's intersection 29. For you, it's going to be something else. That this intersection 29 is this W half circle. So what you want to do now is I would take this half circle right now, and I would just, for example, you can take the south polygon, duplicate that, highlight both of these, and intersect them, and it gives you a new value. You click on that, show as region of interest, and voila, you have one of your quadrants. This is your south quadrant now, or I call it a south quadrant. So I will rename this now to S quadrant. Okay. So now you should be able to, if you actually understood this, you should be able to just play around by using these different polygons, creating different half circles or the pool, and using this union, intersection, subtraction commands, and you will be able to get the other three quadrants. In addition, you can, as I mentioned to other people, you can take your platform variable, for example, you can duplicate it, make it larger, or take the circle one, make it slightly smaller, because all these zones, what's going to actually happen in the tracking software is that when the mouse is swimming around, the tracking software will actually tell you how much time or distance it's spending in whatever zone you created. So for the final product, I'm not going to show you how to create the other three zones, because you should be able to figure that out and do it as a type of exercise homework. But right now I'm going to get rid of the crosses because they're not necessary for the actual tracking. So I'm going to remove that, remove that, remove that, remove that. I actually won't need the polygons as well because you're not going to be tracking any polygons, right? I'll remove that, remove that. So now the crosses are still showing because they're here. Okay. So now what you see is, I've created 4 zones right now. I've created the entire pool, the platform, a half circle, and 1 quadrant. So when you place the mouse in and when the mouse is actually swimming, what's going to happen is, like I've already said before, when you put it into the tracking software, it's going to tell you the distance that it's spent on whatever zones you have created. And in this case, I've only created 4 zones. So you should be able to create the other 3 zones and anything else that you might be interested in looking at. I hope this tutorial was helpful and straightforward. If you have any questions after giving it a try, you can email me and I can see how I can help you. But at least give it a try before just emailing me, asking me how to create the other 3 zones. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.